Okay, welcome everybody. It's so wonderful to see you. So today we are a small group, I think, but that gives us opportunity to dive deeper. Hi, Peter. You're still muted.
Hello, Nadia. Hello, everybody.
Peter,
Greetings.
are you in Italy in your new house?
Yes, I'm in Italy here. And yeah, I've just run from the station, actually. I'm still a bit out of breath because we're expecting some Japanese visitors and they're an hour late. And Barbara was already at the station. So I had to run to the station and back in between things. So keep talking for a bit and get the others involved while I catch my breath and drink a glass of water.
Amazing. Okay, so the Japanese delegation is once again riding into Europe.
Our first visitors to Italy.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah.
So everyone, I think I know just about anyone who's here. At least I've seen you before. So I'm assuming, is there anybody in this group today who doesn't know about money or soul's work? Let's just double check. I didn't think so. Okay, so you know the drill. We have Peter for an hour. We can grill him about anything that is interesting to us. And actually, I was thinking of one topic that is very alive in me right now, because Peter and I just recently had a conversation for an online summit, which is about the shadow sides of spirituality. And the shadow sides of spirituality are, of course, an interesting conversation to be had, I find, because there are many. And we looked at the shadow sides of spirituality together with the host, Hayo, particularly in relationship to source and what that can create in a system. So that could be one conversation we can continue to deepen. But as usual, I think it would be nice if you had just a couple minutes in a breakout session with, just one other person, 2 persons maximum. Let me just see how this. We have one tiny threesome. Simply because I always like it if you've had your voice in the room at least once and had a moment to arrive and just talk to some other person. Right here. Sorry, there's somebody else joining. So I'm going to rearrange my little quartet here. And just to think about what is alive in you right now when you think about money and source. So what is interesting to you? What are the topics that you keep thinking about, observing, whatever that might be? And you have 8 minutes, so it's not going to be long. So just exchange about that. Any questions before I send you off? All right, then see you in 8 minutes. Hi, everyone. Okay, good to see your faces. We are back, and in a sense, the floor is yours. I'm wondering what is alive in you around money, source, love and business,
Life in general.
life, war and peace. I don't know. Okay, well, let's see. Cass, do you have a comment or question?
Yes. I'm coming with a source question, and Muna just helped me to phrase it in the breakout session. That was good. I'm currently managing, not managing. I'm leading a project, a big technology project, as a kind of interim project manager. And the project wasn't running very well when I entered it. That's why I was called into it. And while looking into it, talking to all the people, I looked for the source of the project, and I finally found the person who started the whole thing, more or less, was the first one to get out of his comfortable chair and say, "Hey, guys, let's do it. Let's stop. We've talked for half a year. Let's do it." And the project was initiated with lots of troubles, but now this guy, he's a CEO of a big startup, and he has either lost some of his initial energy, or he's just so tied up into his company that he has neglected the project. So he's not attending meetings anymore. He's not observing what's happening in the project. He's simply not there. But I noticed signs that people are looking for orientation and looking at him, but he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to get people to sit together and say, "Hey, guys, we're at the halftime milestone of a big project. What are we gonna do in the second half? Where are we steering the whole thing?" And the answer was more or less, well, there's an initiator. He needs to do something. Unfortunately, he's not here in the meeting today. And that's when I asked him, and he said, "Yeah, sure, I initiated this thing somehow, but well, it needs to run on its own now. And yeah, of course I care, but you know, I have a company and lots of things, and at the moment I have no time."
Mm-hmm.
So can you share some experiences how you dealt with such situations?
Yeah, so unless he shows interest, the project is going to die, and there's nothing you can do to make it happen in your position with the rest of the team. So, in other words, something needs to happen with him. And one proposal could be a succession. So,
yeah.
So you know, it needs to be handled with him, not with anybody else in the team. And point out, first of all, that it'll die without his doing anything. Is that what he wants? Because if he says, "Well, I don't care," then you might as well stop the project straight away.
Yeah.
So, you know, because it's a waste of time, waste of money, waste of energy to try and do something and continue it. But if he does care, then and he's really not interested himself to continue it, but it remains in his field, then the ideal would be to appoint a successor. And that would be up to him, and you can help him do that. And let me ask you a direct question. Could it be you?
No, probably not.
Okay.
But I know one person who could do it. I don't know if he's ready.
Okay.
So I have a direct contact in the same company, because I'm funded by them. My work is funded by them. And yes, this person could be a successor because he's very invested. But yeah, of course, he has no formal authority, and he has no creative authority so far as well. So that could be an idea. It probably would be difficult, yeah.
So what there is to know about it is that the initiative for creating a succession can come from the, you know, from the founder, from the initiator, or it can come from anybody else. So it could come, for example, from a member of the team. would go, you know, if you see a possibility, the suggestion can come from like an offer to the founder and say, hey, you know, what do you think if I take this over?
Mhm.
And that will, you know, that will stimulate some movement at least. The founder
Okay.
will have to reply to that, because that's what's missing. And what's missing is that it seems he's backing off, and he doesn't do anything at the moment because his focus is elsewhere.
Mhm.
But if he gets a question like that, he has to answer it. His focus has got to come in some way or other. So that would be my answer. One has to, there has to be a move on his part to either cancel the whole thing,
Mhm.
or to do something which will help it to move along. In that,
Which could also be a kind of rebellion of people who feel a creative vacuum and address it. So
well,
if some people come up and say, hey, this thing is just going
then
without leadership.
that's right.
Uh,
So
no?
then that person, we're always looking at one person, should
Okay,
go and
yeah.
make an offer.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
You understand? So that person who's
Uh-huh.
feeling rebellious and saying, hey, I'm missing, goes to him and says,
Yeah.
look, I'd like to take this over. Are you willing to let me take this over? Can we do a succession here? In fact, it'll be a kind of, it sounds like he's got a field with different operations in it.
Mhm.
And this is one operation where he's his own, in my language, his own specific or subsource. So it's like he's created this initiative within a larger field, which he's the global source of. So the succession wouldn't be of the whole thing; it would be just of this part that he's created, and that gives the possibility for somebody to come in and do, and it'll still be within his global field, but somebody else will be running this particular part of it. Does
Okay,
that
but
make sense?
yeah, I see, but that just makes it more difficult because that's not a plain succession from one to another, but
It is.
it must remain in his global field.
Yes.
So it must fit into his sourced field somehow.
Yes, which it probably
Okay.
does. It probably does if he wants it to continue. It's still within his global field, but
Yeah.
he's not interested to be, it sounds like he's not interested to be this, to remain source of this particular operation. So that's the part that needs to have the succession.
I see. Okay.
So
Thank
you
you.
help him to release that part.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, it's going to die. That's
Yeah.
maybe Nadia has something to add.
No, I just wanted to highlight, for all of us learning about source, that this is a particular and interesting case for a potential succession, right? Because what you described, source is cast as a source who sort of dropped the mantle on one of the projects within his field and just couldn't care less. It sounds like it. So there is this vacuum that you described, and then Peter was saying, well, then somebody could fill it, but it is, as always, only one person who could fill it. And Cass, I don't know if you saw the chat, Monica had a question for you, why the rebellion should come from someone else and not from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a typical Monica question, a very good Monica question.
Yeah, I can answer this. The reason is I'm still seeing myself as a complete outsider because I dropped into an environment that I have not been in previously. So the question is, could I be source in something that I'm more or less a complete stranger in?
I have a
you
question.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah.
Well, what just came up for me, Cast, was so firstly, you seem to have a fire for it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be having this conversation. And then secondly, I'm wondering, do you have a vision for what this project could become?
Yes, I have it, but it might diverge from the vision the original source had. Because he's a very technically knowledgeable person in this area, and I have no knowledge whatsoever. So my vision is a much more top-down vision of what he might have 3 years ago.
So you don't need any technical competence to be a source.
Yeah, I guess so, yes. I believe you. I believe you, yeah.
So, you know, it's the question is only, would this fit in your life?
Mhm.
That's the real question. And
Yeah, thanks for asking nasty questions. I don't want to hear.
it's not my fault, it's Monica's.
Exactly. We
Okay,
wash our
thank you,
hands in
Monica.
innocence. Okay, so Cass, maybe we let you stew in that for a little bit
Yeah.
and come back to you at the end of the session to see what, where you're at. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
great. Fabian, let me find you. You have a question. You go.
Yeah. You can hear me now. Yeah. Hi, Peter.
Hi.
I like some weeks ago, I think in like the last before the last session, I asked I had a question if I have been the source of my former companies. And I quit all those companies and now I'm starting my own business as a coach. And what I remarked after we talked that last time is that I did kind of step back from being a source. What Kerst now said was exactly something I experienced. I think I did not experience it because I had too much to do on other levels. It was much more that my values have not been represented anymore. And in the other case, it was like I was just overworked. I had a burnout. So, but now I really want to take, the position of the source, and I ask myself, how can I prevent myself from stepping back? Do you have any experience with that?
Well, I think, you say you had a burnout.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably lost your vision somehow and got focused on other things than your vision. And
Absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm.
and at this level of consciousness, I would say the best way to avoid burnout is actually to make sure you're continually in touch with your vision, because that's how you regenerate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that is the simplest thing I can say, because when you're in touch with your vision, you're in touch with yourself also at the deepest level, and your own needs at the deepest level. The vision can appear altruistic, for other people, and it can still be a big vision. But actually, when you're really in touch with it,
Mm-hmm.
you know that you have to resource yourself well to be able to realize it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it comes down to the bottom line, actually, to be constantly in touch with your vision. And that is the challenge, actually, for every source, because other things come in, which sometimes look important, but don't actually ultimately make a difference.
Right. Yeah, and the vision also always integrates the values, like my values, you know, like staying with my vision.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, because your vision, we all see, is dynamic, so it changes. Your values are something which will stay stable
Okay.
and are like the foundation on which visions are built.
Mm. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Maybe there's some other people with some answers as well. So I wouldn't like to go away too quickly. Nadja, do you want to pick up on that?
Hang on, let me find my own video here to add that to the mix. Yeah, where am I here? No, I thought that was really beautiful, because in a way I was thinking, Fabian, I'm sometimes experiencing that myself right now, where there are moments when I feel overwhelmed and you know, overworked and sort of lost at sea in a bit. And then Peter, what you were saying about reconnecting to the vision, that really is so essential. And I notice when I manage to get back into that space, energetically something in me shifts, because the time horizon might change. So that, you know, it could mean that I don't have to do everything right now, or that the things that I thought are really essential and important, they can wait. But it does re-energize something much deeper. It reminds me of what needs to be done. And that's nearly impersonal. And because it's bigger than me, I don't have to carry it by myself, and then I don't have to burn out from it, if that makes sense.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
you raised something, oh, sorry. You raised something
can,
very interesting there, Nadia, with around timing. Because when you're really in touch with your vision, you may think that you have to do things, for example, in a hurry or tomorrow. But actually, when you get in touch with your vision, you may actually be stopped from doing those things. And it's not yet ready to do those things. For example, there's this whole question of timing that comes in too. So you can notice your stress levels. If you're being pressured, if you feel an internal pressure to do things which are going to burn you out, maybe it's not the right moment to start them. When you're in touch with the vision, you really respect that. And maybe you just stop, give yourself a rest or something like that. So it can work on very subtle levels. So excuse me, I interrupted you.
No, but thank you very much. That's very interesting, because when I'm coaching, I'm fully related to my vision. That's like, it's like a stream of, you know, I mean, you all know that. And but all the preparations now I have to do, you know, like, I mean, also designing a homepage and things, that's fine, and other people do it, but like kind of generating clients, that's another topic, right? And I noticed that this works very well when I'm talking to people and talking about my work and build a trustful relationship to these people. This really works. These people come. But like a general strategy or something, this is really a bit like, you know.
Don't try and have a strategy. At this level, strategies don't work.
Okay. Okay.
Just forget it. Relax.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my experience really is, if I build trustful relationships, if I have deep talks with people, then there's no issue. People come with me. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for this hint.
Yeah, you know, and maybe to conclude that point, Peter, I was just thinking, and that has actually been true for me, but I don't know if I've ever made it this clear to myself, is whenever it begins to feel like hard work, I'm doing something wrong, right? So, and that's the moment where to take pause and notice that very often I find then it's about doing less than doing more, right? So that the ease can come back in, which is the underlying current anyway. But if I get into this have to get this done forced mode, it's just not flowing anymore. And that should be the signal, maybe.
And other people pick up on that. In other words, in your communication, that will show itself.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's an art. It's an art. We're dealing with not a science here, or that's why it's not a strategy. It's an artwork.
Great.
Thank you.
Fabian, is that okay for now?
Absolutely. Thanks.
Okay, we have Muna. Hang on. You can unmute yourself already while I find your video.
Ah, Muna. Great, Muna. Unmute.
No, you're still muted.
Hello, Peter. Hello, Nadia. I just came from a meeting with a notaire. How do you say
With
that?
what?
Notaire.
Oh yeah, notary.
Because you know, we're trying to sell our house, the house we're inherited, and they were with us someone who's interested by this house.
Mm-hmm.
And he made an offer. The first, my question is, I was interested by his offer because it was the best offer we had seen. We started to look after someone to buy it. But when he started to tell about his projects and the money he's making and the benefits he's making, inside me, it wasn't the right price for us to sell it. It was like, I have to ask him more. And so this is my thought since I left the meeting. And my question is, what is the right price to ask?
Oh, wow.
When we're, what is the right price? In every situation, what is the right, because I have an inner intuition to just asking him to meeting him and to just ask him to, if he want to give us more, because for me it's not. But I don't know. I'm in a bit in a confusion, but in other way, I'm feeling that I have to I have to ask him in a way, and to be. Sorry for my English.
No, I missed a few. Your English is fine. I missed a few of the last words, but I think, you know, the right price, if you could say in theory, is the price where both of you feel that you have won, and you feel that he has won too. So you're both winners, and the transfer of the money will be an act of love. So if you give him the money that is there, will that be an act of love?
No. If I give him money from my money.
What you've agreed up to now, will that be an act of love? No.
What we've agreed, it's an act of love, because I feel from him, it's the first time I met someone, I feel that there is an energy which circulates, you know, it's
and
a
it's
free.
Good for, you're happy that he will be a good owner of the house, to pass him the house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But you're not happy with the amount of money that he gives you.
When he started to talk that he gained some benefits, there is some.
He's a very rich man.
Me. Yes, he's a rich man, and I said, so he can give me more because he gained a lot of things, a lot of money today. He made a project and he gained a lot of money. So I said he can pay us more that because we asked more, but he gave us less. He proposed to
negotiated.
us. Yes.
Mhm.
So I felt that it's not justice. You know, it's not the right price, because he can give more. So why not us?
Are you sure he can give more?
Because he gained, so he can give back if
But
he wants.
how do you know how much he gained?
Because he told us. He told me. He
Told
told me
you.
about a project he gained. He wanted to buy it in a let's say 1,000 euros, and he paid less than that, so he gained.
Mhm.
It was his words.
Right. So you feel he's gaining from you as well then?
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes.
So it's so you don't want him to gain from you.
Mm.
So how can you gain from him?
I think for me, just to ask him, it will be gaining from him. Just to
Okay.
ask this question.
And that is your question here in the room. Should you ask
Yeah.
him or not? Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're quite clear about it, that you need to ask him.
Okay.
And see,
Okay.
do you know what you're going to ask him?
What I want to ask him is, because we talked about money work, and he was really interested. And what I want to ask him is what he would like to do to give us as a gift.
Mhm.
Even we were, you know.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I want him to feel free to do it, you know.
Well, when you are, I'm not sure. Nadia, do you have comment?
I'm just wondering if there is maybe one step that you can do with yourself before you have this conversation and really make sure that you've reclaimed everything that you need to reclaim, right? So, for example, the theme that keeps popping up for me is around greed. So I think one of the effects that rich people can have on other people, also on me, for example, is that when I see how much money they have, greed comes up in two ways. One is that I judge them for being greedy because that's the only way they could have gotten that much money. But the other thing is that my own greed is triggered because suddenly I think I could have more, right? And so I know this impulse in me too. And I think it's just something to make sure you're aware of the dynamic within you before you have this conversation, because otherwise he will be triggered by your greed. And then you end up in a very ugly situation. Yeah. And if you ask them the question, I would make sure that it's truly an open-ended question. So if you already ask him, and that might just be a language thing now, right? If you already ask him, what do you want to give us as a gift? It implies that he wants to give you anything. Whereas if you would ask, now given what I've shared with you about the money work, you can be very transparent. You can say, somehow it feels to me like there might still be an opening there for more. And I'm wondering if we were to make this into a win-win situation where we both felt we really got a great deal, would you feel like there is anything else that you might want to give?
Thank you very much, Nadia.
Yes, those are the two things that came up for me.
Yeah.
Peter, you're deep in thought.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to step back and to reconnect with my feelings and what is happening inside me.
Peter, anything else that comes to your mind?
No, I think that's good. There is something else something continuing there, but I'm not sure how to articulate it. You know, it's interesting that he was willing to share that with you, you know, because he didn't have to share what he shared with you. And I wonder why he shared that with you. You know, he must have, was it, I think that's my inquiry of you. Did he share that because he was boasting and saying, you know, I do good deals? You know, it just came out like that? Or did he share that because he was, you know, he wanted to be vulnerable, he was kind of vulnerable with you at that moment?
I think so. What
Vulnerable.
I felt that he was looking for recognition, to be more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
He's making good projects and good stuff, and he's doing good deals, I think.
So the best deal is one where all parties are happy. And if he's taking advantage of other people, they are not good deals. So, you know, there's something, what you're saying about him, you're revealing something which has to do with the money work, actually. But it may not be appropriate to get him into that work. I don't know, somehow.
You know, Moon, it sounds to me like you should take him out for dinner over a good bottle of wine and then have a deep conversation from that place.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's like I think that's it. You've nailed it, Nadia. I think we don't quite have enough information on him and your relationship to be really able to say what next for you. I think it is something in your relationship there that needs to be deepened or further expressed. And Nadia's suggestion of a good bottle of wine and going a bit deeper, and then it'll be ready for the question to him, you know.
And then,
if
Muna,
there
of
is
course,
one.
Monica has a wonderful, uncomfortable question for you in the chat. Why is it important to receive a gift from him?
For me, the gift, it's money.
But why is it important?
For me, it's to adjust the right price, because my brothers and the others who are the owners of the house wants to sell the house with a lower price. So I'm trying to find someone with a price which is correct. And this person is his offer is the best offer for me. But the others owners of the house wants to sell it with less. And I'm trying to sell it in a good price. But
so he already made you the best offer that you have received from all the offers out there?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'm also wondering, now that you're giving us more background, what there is to do in terms of money work with your brothers. Is that correct?
Brothers and cousins. Yeah. All of them, the fourth of them wants to buy it in a lower price. And for me, it's not fair. It's not, as I'm the source of this house, I try to do a good deal.
And why do they want less money? I mean, that's very unusual for people who want to sell houses, in my experience.
They just want money, I guess.
Because they want money now, and
okay.
And as my brothers and I, we inherited this house, and my cousin, it was the donation of their mother. So they want to have their money, even if it's low.
Okay.
And
so for them it's about speed.
Very interesting. Sorry.
For them, it's about the
Yes.
speed. Mm.
Yes.
So you know, my final word on this, I think, is that you need to make sure it's the right price. But what I'm suspicious of is that it has to do with how much money he has. I think the right price has nothing to do with how much money he has. There is a right price for you to sell this house at. And that's what you need to focus on. And, you know, your brothers are trying to put pressure to sell it lower.
Yeah.
And now you've got the best price, but maybe it isn't the right price yet for you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this has got nothing to do with how much money he has. Do you understand? So maybe you've made a mistake in going to the notary too soon, and you need to make that correction if it's not the right price for you. So
No,
maybe it is the right price, maybe it's not the right price. That's what you need to tune into.
excuse me, Peter, just an information. We went to the notaire just to, he was just counseling me for the good selling of the house.
Okay, okay,
Before signing.
okay.
Thank you very much for all this.
Muna, something else is coming up for me, and it, you know, it may or may
Yes.
not be helpful, right? But something around the theme of being taken advantage of. Right. So, and I'm wondering, so because I, you know, and I'm putting words into your mouth now because you did not say that, but if knowing how much money this potential buyer has triggered in you this sense of, oh, maybe I should ask for more money, then I was wondering, what is the feeling that comes up for you if you didn't? Then something around, well, then I would be taking advantage of came up for me. But now that you also told us the story with your brothers and cousins, I'm wondering if this being taken advantage of, if maybe it's a little misdirected, if you know what I mean, that maybe there are other people who are taking advantage of you and have nothing to do with the potential buyer. But it's just a thought. I mean, you can explore that. You're
Yeah.
pro. So
Thank you very much.
thank you, Muna, for stepping up.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. I will remove your video. And Timothy, we have time for one more question, so you can unmute yourself. Hello, hello.
Yay, Timothy, you're here.
Hey, Peter. Yes, I'm
See you.
there.
Oh, sorry, I removed the wrong video. Hang on, let me do that again. I wanted to take out mine. Go ahead.
So I have two questions for you, Peter, and you will choose which one you want to answer.
Okay.
The first one is the one we actually we couldn't really talk about in the previous call, which is about how can young male founders can assume leadership explicitly without falling back into tyranny. So that's the first question. And the second is that I want to say thank you to you, because thanks to you, I've been spending 3 years in this amazing place, because you helped me to change my relationship with money. And I'm about to take another radical decision with money in the next days, weeks, which is about blocking the whole amount that I have left, so that I create on myself an artificial constraint, let's put it that way, where I'm going to block the money for a certain amount of time. And I would like to know if there's any blind spots that I'm missing while doing this. The intention is to reduce, creativity, constraint and creativity comes together. And if everything is possible, nothing is possible. So, I'm a bit ADHD and I have a lot of ideas. So the intention is to, force myself to, generate more cash. Let's put it that way. So you can choose.
Thank you for the choice. Well, let me try both very quickly. First of all, I don't think being source has anything to do with being a tyrant. Maybe you've come across many startups, young tyrants, and that maybe has to do with your own path or history or something like that. A source is anyway not a tyrant in the sense that I think you mean it. And a proper understanding of source is, yeah.
It's more in the alternative space. It's more with the hippies that suddenly discover source and then swing back towards something which is too
so
far.
they have issues. They have issues with power and authority. That's clear. And you know, their reclamation of power needs to happen if they're open to that. That's really the issue that's always there, because you know, tyrants are the most fearful people of all. They look as if they're powerful, but actually they're not powerful. They're in their fear, and that's not power. That's not authentic power. So that would be my quick answer to that. Your second question, I'm not sure I have a good answer to that, to tell you the truth. That you know, it feels like there's a part of you that doesn't trust them to, that maybe your ADHD part will just fritter all the money away and then you'll have nothing or something like that. Is that the fear? So you want to kind of block it so that that won't happen. My question is, what would happen if you did fritter all the money away? Maybe that wouldn't be so bad even. I don't know. It's like, I think it leads into the question of where your vision is and where your source is. You know, maybe what's you're really asking is another question, or another goal here around creating your own vision and source for something. And it's not really so much about the money. I mean, I understand you may have a lump sum of money at the moment. But I have a feeling there's a deeper question beneath what you should do with the money somehow. Does that speak to you? Come to something?
Yeah, because right now I'm just gonna put them in a real estate fund, and for 2 years I'm gonna be having this constraint. That's a form of test. And I'm wondering if there's a better place to put the money. That's true. Regarding your question about my own source, I feel in the process of realizing it, definitely. And I feel that money constraints would support me into daring to ask for money, because this is what I'm not doing. I'm basically working for free for many people, and because there's a form of maybe privilege guilt associated with it. And so not having any money, I don't have the choice anymore. So I'm gonna have to charge the people.
That's a pretty strange strategy for me. You know, pretending to be poor when you're not.
Well, I've been pretending to be rich when I'm not also. I mean, it's so it's just moving from one extreme to the other. It's not pretending to be poor. It's about experiencing for real and what is the money constraints? Because since I'm 8 years old, I started stealing money to my parents, and since then I never had any money constraints at all. So I don't know what it is.
So many people would wish to be in your position, I can assure you. Probably the majority.
If I had a bit more time to explain, I can tell you, maybe not.
Well, I'd love you to go on record and we could put you out on a big screen with this in the world. The man without any financial constraints. So if you really want to, you see, what you're doing is not real. It's not a real constraint. If you really want to experience what you're looking to experience, then you should spend all this money. And then you will really have constraints and you will enjoy them. But
Well, I feel
this is going into a pretend.
it will happen anyway, so I'd rather have like a trial before, like a a safe experiment. But I agree, it's there's a fakeness to it, though there's a realness, because for 2 years I won't have access to it. It's like it's gonna be blocked. So
Okay,
it
so
is.
well, I mean, if it's an experiment, got nothing against the experiment, really. I mean, but it'll be really interesting to see, you know, you're conscious enough to see what this experiment is doing with you.
It's been
It
very
could-
positive since I actually started posing the intention. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, it sounds like this is your path.
Yeah, cool. I have the validation from Peter. That's great. Sending the money.
Is that what you needed? Nadia, come in, please.
Oh, I was just laughing in the
Come in
background
and
because I
save
thought
me.
that's the advice that you never hear from your parents. Like, yeah, just fritter it all away, you know, create real scarcity to see what happens next.
And Tim's parents are the last ones that would do that. I can assure you, Tim's father would never do that.
Well,
Right,
exactly.
Tim?
Wonderful. And thank you so much for the question. Okay, so I'm going to remove all of our spotlight videos, and actually, I would love to hear from Cass just where you are at after sitting with your question for the last 40 minutes. Cass?
Yeah, I had to put that aside to be able to listen at all. But I can tell you that the first reaction that I had was a heavy bout of nausea. It's like, yeah, ground ripped from under my feet. And well, I guess I have to go into this a bit more. At least it rang a very heavy chord within me, a very strong chord.
Mm-hmm. And Cass, can you pinpoint if it's more excitement or more fear? Because they can feel like the same thing and they're not.
It's a mixture. I've been excited for several months now in the project, and I just had a very difficult week because my work ran into a sudden financial problem, and it's a task. I realize it's a giant task, but nevertheless, the question points your question. I don't exactly who it
Monica.
who asked it. Monica, I think, asked the question. Yes, it points in the right direction. I still don't know. I have to meditate about that.
Great.
Okay, so Cass.
Thank you for sharing this, because this part of taking a succession, you're now getting in touch with. And people underestimate this, what it means to actually take a succession. So very often in succession processes, people are looking at the person who is handing over and saying, oh, this guy doesn't want to let go, you know, and he's hanging on and hanging on. But they're very often underestimated is what it means to actually take a succession. And I think you're explaining what you're sharing is very important. It needs this kind of preparation and reflection. And, you know, are you really willing as somebody else to take over what is there and take the responsibility and so forth? And I see you're really feeling in, you know, you're getting the first draft of feeling into that. It's great.
Yes, and I see how enormous the thing is, and I also realize the strong pull it's exerting.
Yeah, great.
So Cass will gladly hear how this tale unfolds in 6 weeks. Please raise your hand and let us know what happened during
And
the
you-
next summer.
I
you
will
know-
do once I'm here.
And you know who to go for consulting if you want to get a little more challenge. You can see her. She's called Monica Calwari.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Okay, you guys, we
But you've got Nadia too anyway, so yeah.
past our time today.
Yeah.
So thank you for staying on. A few people had to dial out, of course. So let's do our little last ritual. Make yourself loud again so that we can hear your voice. Find a person, their fingertips in the next tile, and have a wonderful evening. And we'll see you at the latest in 6 weeks. Take care. Bye.
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 Tschüss.
Thank you, everybody.
Ciao.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Danke.